After all, I am a child of the 90s. One of my favorite TV shows and reviewing and writing inspirations come from there. Of course, because of my disability with my hands, I can never really be an illustrator, a drawer of things. That's something that I can't do. But I can always recognize great art when I see it. And in 1996, I recognized great art. Although Sailor Moon was my first introduction to anime through its broadcast on the USA Network of all things at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They only had the first season of the show on constant repeat. It wasn't until, 1996 when America got introduced to this little thing called Toonami. Among it were four shows, one of which that would change anime's presence in the West forever, and practically my life. I've talked about Dragon Ball several times on this channel, and I've even said point blank, Dragon Ball ain't my bag, baby. It just ain't. But the art can go unquestioned. Some of the most famous scenes in all the genre come from here. Without Dragon Ball's success or influence, especially Z in the West, anime wouldn't be a billion-dollar industry monopolized by Sony as it slowly begins to die. That's all Akira Toriyama's work, his legacy, all of it. Countless creators, illustrators, writers, countless people that have played video games. Yes, he was the one that brought everything of Dragon Quest to life. He is the one that brought us Blue Dragon for the Xbox Nation. And by the way, if you haven't played that game, play it. Seriously, especially now, play it in the upcoming adaptation of his before Dragon Ball manga classic Sandland, which I'm sure will get a big boost in buys, not only for the game but the manga itself, due to Akira Toriyama's unfortunate passing at the age of 68. It's hard to quantify, even for somebody like me, the impact of this man on this thing that I call not only anime, but entertainment. So much of it. Even my beloved Digimon had Akira Toriyama's fingerprints on it. And even as he goes through the final stages of his life, suddenly he was working on the next iteration of Dragon Ball. He was still working to the day he died. Still illustrating. Not as much, more or less supervising, but still with the pen in his hand. Should Dragon Ball Z should have ended at the Frieza Saga or Cell games? Yes, that will always be the great debate. There will always be great debate on whether Toriyama's work still has quality as the decades go on, but there will be no doubt of the impact of the man and the impact that he has made on the genre that he helped catapult. Manga is now bigger than ever. Akira Toriyama started the race, brought it to the West, made it important. The Super Saiyan transformation might be the single most important moment in the Western world to an entire anime generation. There's a reason why Goku has a freaking holiday in Japan, why he is looked at as a mythic god. Because he is. And his creator is one too. He is a god. The tribal chief of an entire genre, of an entire art style. Countless illustrators will continue to learn, draw over, and mimic his work, even in my own creativity. I took a stab at it, reworking his power systems, making it perfect, more plot relevant, more character driven, correcting the small little mistakes in his work. I may not be a Dragon Ball fan. I may have never truly played a Dragon Quest game until 11. My memories of Akira Toriyama's work aren't stuck in Chrono Trigger. No, my memories of his work are actually playing that aforementioned Blue Dragon with the Code Lyoko soundtrack of all things playing in the place of the music. Playing with my niece Samantha, playing for the endless hours as we spent nearly 60 hours just jumping from disc 1 to disc 2, level grinding, watching the Blue Dragon anime that never gets any credibility whatsoever, and watching a great franchise never get the chance to grow. I will be playing Sandland and Sparking Zero, but I will be playing them differently now. Not just as games to possibly review here, but with the knowledge that the man who created these worlds is no longer with us. 68. Younger than my own mother, who was 76. It feels gone too soon. Unfair. The man's brain was still working, his imagination alive, and now suddenly he's gone. Unlike others, I can process it less emotionally. But for friends like Slash Arbiter, for David Owen, Goku is his hero. Akira Toriyama, his god, his influencer, his first one. The one that taught him that good guys win, bad guys lose. And for an entire generation, this was facts. My first and only club was an anime club. My first interaction with Dragon Ball video games was a Japanese copy of Final Bout. I called myself Izzy back then. Akira Toriyama, whether I observed it or not, was a big reason why I'm here. He's gone. Rest in peace to anime's one true tribal chief. On this day, regardless about how I feel about the quality of your work, I acknowledge you, sir. You were gone way too soon. Still had things to provide. But don't worry, your work will continue and your inspiration will continue endlessly because you built an entire generation. Your mystical adventure may be at an end, but look how many up in heaven, how many mystical adventures you've started. Thanks to you, the genre you fought so hard to protect will probably overtake everything else. It's just too bad you won't see it at the top of the mountain. A mountain that you helped build. Thank you, Akira Toriyama. Find peace wherever you are now. See you next week.